So this video is going to make you want to get off the internet. I'm just kidding. Maybe a little bit. Passive reconnaissance, also called footprinting, it is the first phase in ethical hacking. It is doing your homework on a specific target without ever making direct contact with them. This information can be gathered through open internet resources, third-party databases, the quiet art of gathering information. And the target has absolutely no idea that you are researching them. There is no suspicious log entries, there's no alerts, no traces. It's the digital equivalent of looking at someone's public social media before meeting them. And we've all done some kind of passive reconnaissance in our life, whether it be interviewing a potential employer or getting to know your candidate better, or maybe you have a crazy ex that's out there doing passive recon on you right now. So we've all had some kind of taste of it. Before I touch on the specific tools and techniques, it's important to see where passive recon fits in the overall process of ethical hacking. This also applies to attackers as well. So I do want to make it clear I do not condone any illegal activity, and all the information I am giving is for awareness and educational purposes only. So first, of course, is the gathering of information through public sources like Google, company websites, or social media. After all of that is collected, we then determine the network's logical and physical dimensions. When I talk about physical dimensions, I am talking about the tangible, real-world layout of the network. It answers the questions of what is connected to what and where is it located. This is actual cables, fiber runs, switches, routers. What type of computer are they using? Which building, which floor, which rack? Power sources, including data centers and wiring closets. Basically, if you mapped every single cable that is running through a data center, that is the physical makeup of the network. And an attacker that is performing passive reconnaissance on your physical topology is going to probably pull it from employees who have taken photos of their office, the geographic data, job listings that also mention specific hardware that is used within that company. It's very valuable information. Now, as far as logical dimensions, now I want to know how that data is flowing through the network, regardless of where the hardware sits physically. It's very important, and they go hand in hand. It answers the questions: how does traffic move and what rules govern that movement? The IP address ranges and subnets, so which devices share a network segment, virtual, local, area networks that group devices logically, even if they are in different physical locations. Two devices can be plugged into the same physical switch, but placed in different VLANs, making them logically isolated. The physical dimensions tell you where things are and how they are wired, and the logical dimensions tell you how the traffic flows, what segment exists, and where the boundaries and potential weak points are. They are very essential to get an overall picture, because a firewall might sit in one closet, but the traffic it inspects crosses virtual networks, cloud gateways, and an overlay before it gets to its destination. So there are other steps that follow, but the two I have mentioned basically cover passive reconnaissance. Everything after that becomes active reconnaissance, and it's a lot noisier, and it requires direct contact with the network. Now we're going into things that you can learn from a company website. My favorite is HTML source code. So when I was in my scripting class, we had to learn how to put in source code comments for our professor so that we can relay pertinent information to him that otherwise will not be available through the site that we're building. So this is a gold mine, and it's a wealth of information for defenders and attackers. But again, I don't condone any malicious activity, and this is only for information purposes. I'm just going to use this one because I'm going to be going back to it and talking about this Wayback Machine. It's actually really cool. So HTML source code is basically developers sometimes leave behind revealing comments in the code, and I'm sure that we've all accidentally pressed our F12 key, which reveals all of this. And if you don't know what it is or whatever, it just looks like a bunch of jargon. And when I was teaching computer science to a bunch of 5th graders, they felt like this was like the best hacking thing ever. So developers sometimes leave behind revealing comments in the code. So the purpose of the comments is honestly just to relay information to other developers who are probably finicking with the code. So it's not necessarily not meant to just leave behind. It's supposed to be cleansed after. For example, a comment like, "This webpage prompts for the password, whatever, to log into database server, whatever," right? This tells the attacker exactly what system exists. When developers are done, it would usually be sanitized or cleansed and pushed back out in there, but oftentimes humans are the error in this. So when it's not, you can probably find all of this. So even if the comments are removed, this site on archive.org, the Wayback Machine, stores snapshots of websites over time. It will be old information, but that old information will still have that old source code in it. Now, if it were done correctly, make sure that that old information is definitely old information and it's useless. But presently, developers use a text file that tells search engine crawlers which pages to skip. Ironically, it also reveals which pages the site owner wants to keep hidden, which can be a roadmap for attackers, because if you're telling me that this particular page is not available through here, it only tells me how valuable it is. So what's really, really neat about this is that we can go in and we can look up a website from its past, but it would give you all these years on here. And so the snapshot, and we can go to 2007 of, let's say, January 9th, and we can see how we can interact with this. So it looks just like MySpace from 07, and you can probably also interact with it normally by putting in your email and password, but you can also see the old source code from that time. Google hacking also exists using search engines as recon tools. So there is the Google hacking database hosted at exploitdb.com, and it's a curated collection of search queries. And there's also domain research. So Whois, which is queries, registration databases for domain ownership info. NSLOOKUP resolves domain names to IP addresses and vice versa. And it can also list the mail servers as well. And then also my favorite is traceroute. Maps the path your data takes to reach the target, revealing intermediate routers and network topology. Alright, so my GoPro got really hot and I had to switch to my phone. So hopefully this is a smooth transition as I'm editing. Networking was definitely a fun class to do. So I really encourage that if you are entering the cybersecurity field, that networking should be your main focus, because you definitely need to know what that is and how it works. I just want to finish this video. So people are often the weakest link, and publicly available information about employees can reveal a lot of things. And this is where passive recon is tracking the employees through various ways. So job postings can reveal a lot. I would probably be able to figure out what kind of security products you use based off a certain tech position that you're posting on Glassdoor or Monster or Indeed. LinkedIn is the biggest pool of information, and it maps the organizational structure. I've been on LinkedIn and I see that there are employees who are posting as if it is an Instagram account, and they're posting where they get their coffee, and ultimately this can be revealing information, especially if I am trying to do some type of social engineering to get some information. So the financial intelligence. So publicly traded companies are required to disclose financial information through the EDGAR database. And this can reveal revenue and spending patterns and the investments that these companies make, the restructuring of their organization or partnerships and acquisitions. Sources of financial intel include D&B Hoovers, Yahoo Finance, Google Finance, or Bloomberg. And again, depending on what ways people would like to use it, it is out there. It's information that is out there. So I'm trying to better explain this without all the technical jargon and something that is easy for you as the viewers to understand. I always like to segue into the countermeasures for organizations to defend against passive recon. We're going to scrub the HTML source code of comments before deploying to production and monitor and limit information available through Whois. So use privacy registration services. Train employees on social media hygiene. This can only go so far, honestly. Lastly, regularly audit the information that your organization shares publicly. Okay, so now I want to relate passive reconnaissance to the individual. And this is going to definitely make you rethink how you move through the internet and how you view your online presence. Challenge is that passive reconnaissance works precisely because the information people share is motivated by legitimate needs of hiring, job titles, social connection, and branding and collaboration. These are not vulnerabilities by themselves, but they become vulnerabilities when someone correlates them at a scale. And it's impossible to ask individuals to stop posting on social media and to ask organizations to stop marketing. It's important to understand that specific patterns create risk. Depending on what information is being gathered, attackers can now personalize their social engineering tactics. So that's why mothers should not post where their kids are going to school online or other revealing information, the car they're driving, anything like that. If you can be creative with trying to figure out how your information that you're putting out there can be used against you, it's going to make you not want to put anything on the internet at all. And that's saying a lot. If someone was really looking to do something nefarious, they're going to find a way. Depending on the type of job you have, you shouldn't be oversharing. If your spouse is going away for a really long time for work, you're not going to be going online posting to the whole world that you are going to be by yourself from this date to this date, and you're going to be picking him up at this airport, because some things don't need to be shared. But unfortunately, there's people out there who feel that they need to share every aspect of their lives, and it's an issue. So one source put it very well, and it's that passive reconnaissance does not break systems. It removes the friction until the system breaks itself. And there's some old version of you that still exists in cyberspace, and it's impossible to maintain true anonymity. The best thing moving forward is to just be more cognizant of how we move throughout social media and being a little more aware. All right, so that is it, and I'm going to edit this and post it. See you next time.
See you next time. 73.